Hello, good morning, and welcome to Wednesday's Claret and Booze Daily Show with myself, John, also known as Virgil of the Marshes. Today's show is the second of the week. It's Wednesday, the 18th of May. And as before, if you like what you see, then please like the show. Why not subscribe to the Claret and Booze YouTube channel? And if you hit that bell notification, you will be advised of any shows that we put out as and when they go live. Today, I've got three topics to talk about. First of all, I'm going to be talking about Gary Lineker and his defence of a West Ham legend. I'm going to be talking about opinions and Pep Guardiola's opinions of a particular West Ham player who divides opinions amongst West Ham fans. And lastly, I'm going to be talking about a little transfer link that I've found yesterday, which is of interest to me because he's not one I've heard of before in terms of us being linked with him, but I am aware of him as a player because of his time at Queen's Park Rangers. But don't let that fool you. He's a good player. Okay, so first of all, as we know, West Ham played Manchester City on Sunday. I was there. Fantastic game, fantastic performance from the boys, especially the first half. And as we know, it led to a fantastic farewell to Mark Noble. Now, you know, the game was fantastic. Possibly they could have won, apart from Fabianski's penalty. But the story of the day was the farewell to Mark Noble and the fans' reception for him. Is he a club legend? Some say yes, some say no. I think the majority do say yes. However, the Athletics journalist Michael Cox took a dig at Mark Noble via Twitter. Now, The Athletic is something that a lot of us read quite avidly, and to be honest with you, I hold it with a lot of respect. However, the tweet that Cox put out was very condescending, and not only that, was very ill-timed. Cox wrote, "Mark Noble, probably the best player I've seen at running back manfully into the position that he should have been in anyway." So what he's alluding to there is that Noble's very good at getting back into a position that he should have been in the first place. So it's a backhanded compliment. He's basically saying Noble was always out of position. Now, everyone's favourite Match of the Day presenter, Lineker, responded via Twitter. Lineker's very vocal on Twitter, and he responded to Cox's message or tweet with the following: "Football is a game that is so much easier to talk about how to play than it is actually to play, especially at the Premier League level, worth bearing in mind." Cox came back saying, "But that doesn't mean we can't discuss their qualities. Noble was a great pro, good on the ball, very hard working, but often very poor positionally, which I suspect is why successive England managers overlooked him even when they lacked options. I think this is fair enough." As we know, Lineker loves Twitter. He didn't want to back down, and he came back with, "Deary me, so disrespectful and inaccurate. You've gone from saying he was the most out of position player you've ever seen to this is why he didn't get an England cap. He would never even have played for West Ham if this was true." I have to wholeheartedly agree with Lineker here. Not just on Mark Noble, but what we have to remember is if they're in the Premier League, they must be good players. Yeah, they're not going to get to the top league in the country, in Europe, maybe the world, if they don't have anything about them. Now, we know Noble's capabilities, and Noble knows his capabilities. However, every manager that Noble has played under has got nothing but good to say about him. Every player that Noble has played with will tell you the importance of Noble, not only on the pitch, but in the dressing room. He has more ability than people give him respect for. And I think that this comment by Cox is basically snidey and disrespectful and very inaccurate. Noble's been an excellent Premier League player. He's been an excellent player for West Ham. And if you're telling me, as I said in the video last week, that people like Gavin McCann and people like Leon Osman have been better quality pros, because that's what you're saying, Mark. You're saying that Noble didn't have positional sense. If you think those two players, to name but a few, had better positional sense, you can't be right, because they have not had the careers that Noble has had. And I'd have to take my hat off to Lineker here, because I quite often find myself disagreeing with a lot of things that Lineker comes out with. But I think in this instance, I think he's every right to say what he thinks here. We all have anyway. But I think he's hit the nail on the head. You know, Noble wouldn't have been in the Premier League for as long as he has. He wouldn't have played so many games for West Ham as he has, and he wouldn't have been captain for as long as he has been at the club in the last few years. So I'm quite upset with the nature of the tweet from Cox. As I said, I'll read The Athletic quite avidly. Got a lot of respect, and this got me thinking about differences of opinions in regards to players across the board. We all have our own take on individual players, and this leads me beautifully on. This leads me on to Pep Guardiola. Now, to me, Pep Guardiola has a lot of class about him. Pep Guardiola very rarely, in my mind, comes out making excuses. And if you look at the game on Sunday, as I said, I was there, but I'm sure if you wasn't, you would have seen it on telly. Pep Guardiola went round to every player, West Ham player, shaking their hands individually. He is a very respectful man. He carries himself, impeccably. And he even went up to Noble and gave him a hug, and had a whisper in his ear, probably congratulating him and whatever else. I'd love to know what he said, in fact. But the opinion I'm going to talk about is Pep's opinion in regards to Mikel Antonio. Whilst on the pitch, Guardiola also gave, as he went over to Grealish, he saw Antonio and give him a playful shove, and he gave him a hug, and he probably said, had a bit of banter with him. Now, Pep Guardiola has come out and basically said that Antonio is a real handful. He was nothing but full of praise for the way that Antonio put himself about on the pitch, for the way that he did not let the Manchester City back four rest at all, especially the centre-backs. He gave Fernandinho an absolute torrid time. And Guardiola was very complimentary to Antonio. Sorry, and it made me think about opinions, as I said. And the fan base at West Ham is very fractured, it seems, when it comes to Antonio, especially on social media. And it's something we've spoken about before. Now, we're all entitled to opinions. I'm more inclined to listen to Pep Guardiola's opinion than somebody on YouTube, than somebody on Twitter, and that includes myself. What we have to agree on here is that anyone who's playing in the Premier League at any time must be a good player. Antonio is a real handful. Antonio maybe doesn't score as many goals as he should, and is technically not as great as others, but we know his capabilities, as does Antonio. And I'm very happy that Antonio went to the last home game of the season, and in front of his home fans, and just put in an absolute fantastic performance. I know he missed that opportunity where Fernandinho's back pass put him through slightly, and he sort of rushed it a little bit. But that's down to his rashness as a player at times. But also, what you've got to remember is he hasn't scored many goals. I think he scored one goal maybe since the Crystal Palace game in the league. He's feeling that. He's snatching at things. He's a little bit panicky. He wants to score as much as we want him to score. Pep, to me, basically said what most West Ham fans think. On his day, Antonio is a real handful. But let's not get on his back when he has a bad game, when he has a bad month, when he has a bad spell. We know what he offers, and hopefully next season, West Ham will bring in that next striker that we so desire, and Antonio can play a supporting role as a striker, or maybe go back on the wing, which is maybe what he prefers. So in terms of that, I've got a little transfer link that I found. Now, as I said, this is a player that I haven't seen West Ham linked with before, but he is a player that I'm aware of. You know, I watch a lot of football. I watch a lot of lower league football as well. And there's a player that we're linked with who's currently playing in Turkey for Fenerbahce. He's a Nigerian player, and his name is Bright Asayi Samuel. Now, apparently, West Ham are one of 3 or 4 Premier League clubs after this very versatile 24-year-old player. Bright Asayi Samuel, he originally came through the Blackpool Academy, where he made 64 Senior League appearances for the club before he moved to Queen's Park Rangers in 2017. At Queen's Park Rangers, he was fantastic. He had a very long spell there. He played over 100 games across 4 years, and it looks like he possibly could now be on his way back to the UK, to England. The other clubs apparently in for him are also Southampton and Brentford, but I think he'd probably be better off suited coming to West Ham, and my reasons are varied. He is versatile. You know, when he was at Blackpool, he was very much a right winger. He did at QPR become more of a right wing back, right back. We do have right back problems to some degree, namely Fredericks looks like he's going to be released at the end of the season. Soufal hasn't had a fantastic second season at West Ham, somewhat down to the supposed hernia injury that he's had. And Ben Johnson, who is meant to be a right back, actually plays better at left back. But this guy, Asayi Samuel, you know, to me, he ticks a lot of boxes. As I said, he predominantly plays as a right back, but he can play as a right winger occasionally. He's played 42 games this season for Fenerbahce, where he has 2 goals and 5 assists. His contract ends in 2025 with the Turkish club, and I think West Ham are in the best position to get this guy. As I said, he's young, he's quick, he's energetic, and he's versatile. I haven't seen him linked with us before, so for me, this is a new one. I'm sorry if you've seen it elsewhere, but you know, he could be of interest. He could be of interest. We know that now, after the Brighton game on Sunday, we're going to be linked with every player across Europe. Gets a bit boring at times, doesn't it? We're going to be talking about Jesse Lingard. We're going to be talking about Belotti. We're going to be talking about Darwin Núñez. But this guy, to me, is something different. This guy, to me, hasn't been linked with us before. He's versatile and he's quick. And I think he could offer something. I think he could make the position his own. He's done very well for Fenerbahce, playing in the Europa League and also the Conference League. Sorry. So he's got good experience. He's a good age, 24, and you know, he's of an age where Moyes can mould him into the player that he wants him to be. So yeah, let's watch this space with him. Okay, well, that's it for today. I'd just like to say thank you for watching. And as I said, if you have liked what you've seen, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and also make any comments you wish in the comment box. I'll try and reply to them as and when I can, when I'm not driving the cab. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, and watch out for Nick's daily show, which will be tomorrow, Thursday morning. Take care. Come on, you irons.